Okay. All right. Thank you guys for coming to the next webinar in the Timer Webinar Series for Negative Split Productions. Today, we're going to be talking about getting results online. So we're going to cover a few different things. We're going to show where we are in the data flow, which result providers we use. We're going to talk about which one you should choose. We're going to talk about the result column visibility file, which we'll be referring to as the RCV. Then we'll also post results to we'll show posting results to race roster and run sign up, and then we'll wrap it up with a quick Q&A. In the data flow, so we've had quite a few webinars over the last few weeks. We are currently at the end of the data flow. This is the last thing we do with our timing data. We're going to be posting the results online to display the results in a web-based interface for people to be able to view and share. The providers we use, there's three main providers that we push results to. The two main ones are Race Roster and Run Signup. RM Timing Systems has direct integration to be able to post live results to both of those platforms. And then for cross-country meets, we also do a manual upload of results to athletic.net. We don't do live posting there because it's a little more difficult to change the results once they get up there. So we just wait until about 24 hours after the race and then post them to athletic.net. Which one should I use? So I will tell you which one to use for each event, but there is kind of a process in deciding. It's pretty straightforward. Obviously, we're not posting live to athletic.net, so that one's crossed off. If the event is on Run Sign Up and the race director wants the results there, which most will, we'll use Run Sign Up. Otherwise, our default is Race Roster. The reason Race Roster is the default is we have total control over the results as they get posted, including which columns are shown, which email they use, all of that stuff. So we use Race Roster as our default. If we're using Run Sign Up, there are a few extra steps we need to take, and we'll go over those when we're talking about posting results to Run Sign Up. So that's kind of the process we use to pick which platform we're going to be posting results to. The result column visibility file. This is kind of a newer thing. It's not really new anymore. It's probably 2 or 3 years old, but it's newer in RM terms. The result column visibility file is a way for us to drive what participants see on the results page. This gives us really nice granular detail. As you can see in the screenshot here, we can decide if we want a specific row to show on the main page, which is the search, in the detail, or which is the main results page is the search column. Detail would be when an athlete clicks on their name and it goes to an individual results page. And we'll show examples of all of those as well. Mobile is whether it'll display on mobile by default. Awards is whether it will display on the awards page or not. So there's certain situations where you want things to be shown. I build out the default visibility presets for you guys, and they're in the default folder, which is in the shared drive on Google Drive. But this is kind of a cool feature. You can even do like there's 10 user columns in RM. We can custom name a column if if they had a custom question that they wanted to include, if somebody was a veteran or something like that, we could include that information using these user columns over here. Generally, by default on this, we will not post split data on the main page. Just it clutters up the page quite a bit, and it makes people have to scroll over, especially if they're on mobile. So I generally only include split data in the detail whenever they click on their name. And again, I'll show you what that looks like whenever we get into the software. So and this file, the result column visibility file, works for both Race Roster and Run Sign Up. So you can set this up for any events that we're auto posting results to. All right, so now we are going to jump into the software. So let me switch my screen real quick. Over to screen 2. Okay, so now you should be able to see I've got RM open on this computer. I've preloaded the Cypress Half Marathon just because that event was this past weekend, and it's kind of convenient because registration's on Run Sign Up, and we posted results on Race Roster. So first, we'll go to the result column visibility file just so you see where it is. You can access it through the settings menu, result column settings, or while you're setting up divisions, up in this top bar, division tools is the first option here. So either one of those will take you to this window, which is the screenshot that we were just showing. I don't have a lot of presets. Oh, I do have all the presets loaded in here. So to load, to actually see what's going to be shown, we'll just go click a preset. So let's just click Deadly Dozen Team. So this is the preset of what this would look like. If you wanted to make changes to this, what you would do is you can call this, Deadly Dozen Team B02, just so you don't lose your original. And let's say you also wanted to show age place, gender place. You also, let's say they decide to implement age groups and genders for the teams, so we can show those now. That means we don't need the team gender anymore. And then when we do that, you just go down to this bottom portion, hit save, and you'll save as new. So that'll save it with the name that you put in up here at the top. You can also, from down here, export and import default files. So I do have a master file that's saved in the shared drive. So to import that, you would just click the import button, navigate over to the shared drive, and load that file, and it would load basically everything that's loaded in here right now is all the default stuff. Export, that's what I use whenever I'm creating the master file. I'll export a new one whenever we need to have a different preset. Clear visibility options just clears the current screen. It'll tell you, give you a little warning. You can also delete one if you need to, but you shouldn't generally need to. So we'll get out of there. There's a couple of other settings options that are available for result posting. Those can be found under setting, result provider setting. This one is used, I'd used this during pre-setup, but this is one that should actually be checked at an event also. So we'll maximize this window. So when you open this, we're logged into a race roster as our results provider now. So you'll see everything's kind of race roster oriented. So from here, we can select the event, but we're already selected to the correct event. So we're good there. Live results settings. These are some general toggles you can use to kind of show or show what data is going to be processed via RM or race roster, what you want, and how you want the results overall to display, the general settings. So I've never used the post live backup results, so I'm not exactly sure what the reason for that would be. So we can ignore that one. Show only entrants with finish times. This one's good for like 5Ks, 10Ks, things like that, because it'll just, if somebody doesn't have a time, it just won't show them at all on the results. Usually for a triathlon, I will turn that off. So as results are posting live, it'll actually be posting the splits so people can track along if it's kind of a lightweight tracking for them. Skip posting if there aren't any changes. I always check that because it reduces the amount of upload that we're doing to race roster. So it won't sit there and upload the whole results file every 5 minutes if there weren't any changes to the results. Let results provider handle awards. We will never use this because we don't use race roster awards that way. We let RM drive the awards and just post them to race roster. Post DNF, DNS or DQ. This will post, if you toggle this on, this will actually post the participants that are DNF, DNS, or DQ'd, and have their results listed as such. This will post them online. We don't use this very often. We do for the CalTri events though, because they do let the DNF participants keep their chip and continue on the course if they choose to. Use gun time for scoring. Usually we'll toggle this for cross-country meets, but that's the only time we'll use that. Show all entrants. I'm not sure how these two, the show only entrants with finish times and show all entrants, play together, but show all entrants will literally post every single person on the results. And actually, while I was saying that, I think I just figured out what the difference is. Show all entrants will immediately post everybody, even if they haven't started the race. Show only entrants with finish time will differentiate between if there's a time posted like a split or a finish time. So if this is toggled off, this will post split people that have a split online, but won't post people that don't have any splits. With this toggled on, this will only post people that have finish times. With this toggled on, it will literally show everybody on the results, whether they have any times or not. This Child Protective Services toggle, this is a new one. I think it might be only available in version 9 right now, which we're going to be upgrading to in the new year. This follows the new California law that requires that you only post the first initial of a kid's name. So we'll be using this once we get everything upgraded to version 9 across the board for any kids. This will automatically work for any participant. I think it's under, I can't remember if it's under 14 or under 18. But what it'll do is if they're under that age, it'll just post their first initial and their last name. Over here, posts cross-country column. This will post the adjusted place for cross-country meets. That's the only time we'll use that. Post non-binary gender as. This is where you can say if they're offering an actual non-binary division, you would want to change this to display them as non-binary. Generally, I leave it at prefer to not disclose because not a ton of our events are offering non-binary options at the moment. Enable race roster awards tab. This will just enable the tab on race roster that shows whatever awards you put into the division and age group file. If you have this toggled off, that tab won't be there. So like for cross-country meets, because since the divisions are broken out by genders, we generally won't post the tab here. We don't use the API log posts at all, so we can ignore that for now. This is basically just something for the RM API to take a backup of the results. Right here, this will show the intervals that we're posting the results. So what this is the default. We pretty much leave it like this all the time. Post full entrance interval every 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes, it'll do a full repost of the results. And every 2 minutes, it'll post any updates that have been made to the database. So basically, our quote unquote live results are every 2 minutes. And then the timeout is just how long, if it can't make a connection, how long before it just times itself out. These other two tabs down here, meet settings, meet info, we don't generally use these, but if you needed to on the fly, you can actually create, by using the event info, you can create a race roster results event right here in RM. You don't need to go into race roster to do that. There should not ever be a situation where you would need to do that, but that option is here. I'm going to log out of race roster now and log into run sign up so we can look at the options there. So options here, similar thing. You can search for your event right here. So we'll just search, since Cypress Half was registration on there. We could technically post results there if we wanted to. Go ahead and hit save that. So now we're in race roster mode on this. So now if we go to the live results setting, you'll see a few things that are grayed out. Everything else is still applicable. Skip posting if there aren't any changes. Race roster or run sign up handles the results differently, and we'll go into that in just a second when we talk about the posting of the results. But it won't post the results if there aren't any changes, so you can't turn that off. And then the awards tab, obviously that's a race roster specific thing, but all the other things still work just fine. And just like I said, the result column visibility file also works just fine for run sign up too. Okay. So a couple of quick things before we go on to the actual results page. I just wanted to reiterate something we talked about during the last two webinars. For when you're posting results to race roster, this will already be pre-done like during the setup, but if you ever needed to, This button right here it's grayed out now because we're logged into Run Sign Up. This button right here, Upload to Provider, is what you would use to push your divisions. If you needed to add a new division to a race roster event, let's say they didn't have a wheelchair division, but somebody with a wheelchair registered, and now they want one, you would just create your new division, upload to Provider, select the new division, and upload it to race roster, and you'd be all set. For Run Sign Up, to do that same thing, we would need to add that division, but then we would need to go to, the age group file and press the Upload to Provider button. Why they're in different places, I don't know, but that's just, we just have to remember that, and that's how we operate. So that's all of the RM options. The only real thing to remember on race day is to toggle on your auto results posting. And then if you need to do a manual or a quick update, you just hit the post button right here. So that's all there is to do with results in RM. So now we're going to hop into an actual results. I'm going to go to do the Run Sign Up first. Okay, so these are the Run Sign Up results. These are for an event happened on Sunday, Udalo Swim Run. So this is what they look like on the front end for participants. You can, and if you scroll down to the bottom, this event doesn't have award. They don't post specific award winners. They just hand them out at the thing. So there's no awards on this one. But if you click into the participant, this is the participant details. So whenever you have something splits visible on detail, this is where it would be posted, was inside the participant detail. I'm going to go over to the back end because I wanted to show. So this is the Run Sign Up dashboard, and when we get timer access, this is what you'll see on an event. Most of our stuff is under this race day tools section. The only thing you'll ever really want to do in here is once you start posting results, if you go to results, edit results, and then edit the metadata. The metadata, this is what drives them to the form to fill out their any inquiries they have. The problem with the default Run Sign Up one is it doesn't ask like their estimated finish time. So we have to do some more back and forth emails to get all the information out of them. So what I'll usually do is when you guys are posting results to an event to Run Sign Up, during the event, I'll go into this back end, edit this metadata, show that it's coming from negative split, the URL for the company, and then the question URL just goes to a form on the negative split page, which I'll pull up here. Maybe there it is. So this is the form on the negative split page, name, first name, last, event, they just put what event they're in, and this is the email that comes into the results, results at mynegativesplit.com. So there's that. Now we're going to go over to race roster results. So this is the results for the Cypress Half Marathon that was also on Sunday. New dashboard. Hopefully you've all gone and looked at the blog post that they did. They've made a few changes, such as adding the results inquiry button to the main page, so you don't have to dig to the menu. That was after much pushback from them. They finally agreed to put it on there. The search bar up here at the top is just kind of a master search bar. So you can type in a bib number. I don't know. Yeah. So it pulls up the bib numbers right here for all of the events. So this is a master search bar that can do all the events. If you want to go view specific results, you can click here or click the leaderboard, and it'll take you to the first one, which is half marathon. So this is what the results look like. If somebody were to visit the page from desktop. On mobile, there's a few changes to show some different information, or it shows a little bit less information, but this is overall what it all looks like. Clicking the participant will take you into their details page. And this button right here is where if they had encore splits, this is where they would be located. So looks like these are, maybe this is what the problem that guy was having, Linda. Yeah, so refreshed it and it fixed. So that might have been the problem he was having. So yeah, these are the results. When you're logged in, you'll see this edit and delete button. We don't generally use those, but they are there if you need them. If you click the edit button, just so you see what it looks like. It's just literally every single column and all the raw data. So you can change that. You shouldn't ever need to, but it's there. Go back. And then you can switch divisions and everything right here as well. So kids. And so then the awards tab, which is one of the nice things on race rosters. I love the awards tab. It does the full breakdown of all the participants that have won the awards based on the age groups and the overalls that you had set up in RM. So I'm going to go back into RM real quick because I did forget to cover one thing. I'm kind of some troubleshooting, some issues that you might run into when posting specifically to run sign up. So we're going to go back to, there we go. So when you're posting results to run sign up, so when we're posting results to race roster, every time the results post, it's pushing the data, all of it, and the participants and everything back through the system. So it's a lot of pass through, a lot of data going through the system. Run sign up doesn't like that. So what they've done is they've implemented a result ID. So whenever a result is published on the platform, that specific result is given an identification number. That number is then fed back in to RM. And RM refers to that as column 35 because it's the 35th column. I don't know why they just stuck with that, but that's the name they've stuck with. So when you're posted, like let's say a participant moves from the 5K or from the half marathon down to the 5K at this event. So let me see, I think. Yeah. So if they move from down to the 5K, you'll change their information in quick edit like you normally would. You'll do the RSU button to save, to push that update to run signups. So now you'll need to clear out their result ID. So to do that, so you'll go to the edit athlete screen. There we go. And then clear result column ID 35, this button right here. Once you press this button, it's cleared. You can repost your results and you'll be good. If you need to do like a full repost, which I think happened at a race not too long ago, if I remember right, we had to do a full repost. If you go to database, edit database, and then you click this toggle all columns button, all the way down at the bottom is result column 35, and you can clear it for any event that you want, and that'll do a full repost of the results to run sign up. So
what's the toggle all columns button thing for?
Let me go back, database, edit database. So by default, when you open this, it'll want to show you that, because generally if you're using edit database, you're clearing times, for the start of a race, or maybe the 1K at the beginning, and you need to clear all the 5K start and finish times before the start of the 5K. So this by default, this is showing that this goes to the time columns and then some of the user columns down here. It doesn't show all the columns. So if you click this, it'll show every single column in the database.
Oh, so it literally just brings up that column 35.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So one more quick note on race roster results posting. Sometimes it takes a second for a race roster to catch up to your results. So generally what kind of best practices, what I've been doing is I'll hit the post button and then I'll wait about 10 to 30 seconds. And then I'll go look at the results page. I won't go, especially at a larger event, I'll give it a few seconds to like process on the back end before I go and start digging through the results page itself. So yeah, so that is how we get results online and going through and getting through some of the problems and issues that we run into with that. 1 minute. Stop sharing my screen. Sorry about that. There we go. So yeah, so that's going to wrap it up for this webinar. I do want to talk about the process that this is the end of the scheduled webinars that we've had for the last few weeks. Going to take a couple of weeks off and kind of regroup and get some stuff, get some more detailed stuff done. But we're going to be doing a few different. We're going to be going through an actual race day through the next 3 webinars, and then we have a 4th one that Ryan's working on that I don't have on this list yet. For report, where he's going to do a deep dive into the report functionality and run in RM to show you how to generate reports and use all the different reports that are available. But the next few that we're going to see are a full event setup. I'm going to walk through the complete setup, not just loading online storage, but how I set up just a standard running event. The next one is going to be Ryan's going to host while the race, how to prioritize and what needs to be done while the race is happening, just to kind of, keep your flow going throughout the day. And then I'll do a webinar on how to close out a race at the end of the day, what all the process, what all needs to be done, where files need to be saved, and so forth. And then, like I said, that one that Ryan's working on right now, the report, the deep dive into reports. After that, I think what I would like to do, and I'm always open to feedback, so feel free to reach out and let me know if you have any thoughts. I want to go into a more practicum for these, where we're going to take real issues that come up at races, and we're going to go through the process of resolving those issues. I'll show you if there's multiple methods of doing of resolving it, and I'll also talk about which ones are kind of the ideal way to do it for a specific scenario. So if you have any specific things you'd like covered during those types of things, let me know, and we'll get them scheduled and get them added. So with that, if there's no questions, I'll leave it open for a few seconds. If nobody has anything, we're going to go ahead and cut this recording off. So do we have any questions about anything we've talked about today? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cut the recording off. Thank you guys for coming, and we will talk to you all soon.